The
Um,
the expo's every 2 years.
it is, but don't put it on your calendar.
No, but
Your time is done.
Yeah. I'm just trying to budget for the
Hold
next
on,
couple
hold
of
on.
years.
Hold on. I do want to, because Ryan, I'm scrolling Instagram the other day, and that Mawa hotel, like
shutting down
as it came across my feed,
I know that
within a millisecond, I was like, I know that hotel. And I stop, and it's like it's being demolished. And I remember being there. What?
Yeah.
It's such a I'm sure it's a bigger story, but it's like in such a random location. It's in my opinion, it's like so prominent for that location.
Yeah.
And there's just and I out of all places in the country have been to this hotel in Mawa. And there's an article written about how it's being demolished. I'm like,
yeah. I know.
Why?
Yeah, the Sheridan Crossroads. It's always been. I think the story is that it's on an old Ford factory, so there might be some environmental issues. So I think they were trying to develop it. The facility had gone through numerous ownership over the last couple of years, but yeah. So out of nowhere, I wouldn't say out of nowhere. There'd been rumors that they were going to knock it down for about 10 years, and then finally, a year before this expo in 2024. They called a year in advance and said, "Hey, we're no longer booking anything." But we should go back because that's where the name Modern Craftsman started.
And I feel like we should just go hang out there for like a night.
We can probably get
one out. Oh, you want to go back to the start of all of this?
Yeah, just let's go hang out at Mawa
No,
Hotel.
I'm saying Ryan, like he wants to dig into that right now.
Yeah, Modern Crafts. That's where it started.
Tell.
Yeah. So I mean, you obviously go ahead, Tyler.
No, so the initial panel discussion was going to be Nick, myself, John, and you had KOC. Was that the year KOC was?
Sean Van Dyke.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sean Van Dyke was the moderator.
And what was your idea behind that?
That was that, and that goes back to the Instagram story where all of a sudden I saw these. We were getting a lot of questions from our customers like, "Hey, your website's really cool. Can you help me build one?" And it was like, well, building a website is not really what we do, but you can call this guy or that guy. And then all of a sudden Instagram came out, and I was like, you don't really need a website as a builder. You just need a way to document your process. And then you all were putting your work on there. I think some of the things at the time when we were like, how are we going to get people to come to our expo? A lot of people were sharing like how they keep, sounds silly, but how do they keep a job site clean? Mm-hmm. And everybody was using the air scrubbers and job site protection. And I was like, wow, like just that alone, showing that alone to a customer is really impactful. That separates you as a not typical, experience with a lot of the trades that people have negative connotations over. And so you two gentlemen, John, were three accounts that I was following and kind of communicating with behind the scenes. And then it kind of hit, was like, you know what, let's call this event the Modern Craftsman, right? Because you're utilizing social media to tell your story. It was the Modern Craftsman and building your brand through social media. I think that was the name of it. And then Sean Van Dyke at the time, he was also a trim carpenter as well, or working for a trim carpenter. So I was like, the four of you guys, let's get on a panel discussion and just see what happens. And that was we had people from, I'm not sure how many different states come to that show.
There's like 500 people registered to that. I remember you telling us the numbers.
Oh, more than that. Yeah, no, we had the pre-registered, I think like 2,500.
No, I mean to just our talk.
Oh, just to your talk. Oh, yeah.
I remember you being like, "Hey, there's 500 people showing up." Meanwhile, I think at least from my experience, I had never talked to anyone in front of. I hated getting up in front of the classroom, and I remember. I mean, TMI, but like my stomach was not well leading up to that event.
That's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was like, for us, it was like, yeah, we nailed it. I really didn't think about your feelings at the time. No. It was like, God, you guys are going to nail this.
Okay.
You guys
I was like, Tyler, I'll be right back.
Yeah. And so that's where it all started. And then you guys, kudos to you guys. You guys kept the ball rolling on it. You guys could have just ended there and kind of ran away, but Instagram, you guys continued. There were some kind of cool community connections for a number of years there. It kind of fell off. It got a little saturated. It's not the same, but I'm glad that we were part of that for that early on. And I think that there's still some nationwide lifelong relationships, not because of our event, because of Instagram, that you can call anybody now for the rest of your career and say, hey, do you remember that, back in 2015? And people would answer your phone call in a heartbeat.
Well, I'll give you the kudos. I think that you took what everyone was doing on social and then said, let's do this in one room. It was the most surreal experience.
It was funny.
Because I remember getting off stage and people were just like we're all talking. Everyone's like, I know you from Instagram. And I'm like, this is so freaking weird. Like,
it was weird.
And I don't think we even made it to the show. I remember being stuck in the lobby for hours talking to everyone. And from that point, you're absolutely right. Like we said, we went on to launch the podcast, but we have since thrown events, and it's like, this is, that's really what, at least for me, like opened my eyes to, hey, what we're doing on social is so much bigger and grand, more grand than, what we think it is. And the amount of people that we aspire to help and acknowledge, that was 2015, 2016, I think was a huge, redirection of our industry in terms of how people shared and collaborated. I remember early days of, I had one guy reach out to me. He had shared a tip. I was doing something on my house. He shared a tip on how to do it better. And then I went on to do my whole house, and then I shared it with someone else, and I shared it publicly, and I got he was not happy. He's like, I shared that in confidence. I'm like, why the hell do you care?
Yeah.
If the next guy knows how to do it, isn't that the whole point? And I remember I was like, he's like, you guys and your social media, this used to be everything used to be private. And I remember saying to him, I'm like, this old house has been doing this for 40 years. You know that, right? On TV, Tommy learned something. He's showing it on TV and teaching someone else.